I apologize to y'all because I know y'all hadn't got any sleep either. It's crazy. Oh, man.
So what was today like for you?
No, it's crazy. Only in Clemson. I mean, only in Clemson do you have a day like today. And, you just – I mean, y'all know me. I just say sometimes what pops in my head without really thinking, thinking it through. And I was just simply trying to talk about the insignificance of the poll. And listen, we're not dialed in on that. The only poll we're interested in is December 6th. I think I said that in fall camp. And I have no idea where that came from in my head, but I just was, listen, we'll celebrate the poll. So you got basketball's got March Madness. We got the poll celebration party. I don't know what happened at the other three schools, but I doubt it was like this. This was crazy, but a lot of fun. And, our fans are amazing. Amazing. I think they just all traveled right down from Charlotte with no sleep as well. And, last night was like a home game. It was incredible. The amount of orange and just – when our defense was out there, it felt like being in Death Valley. It was just amazing. So today was a day that I really, as this thing kind of took on a life of its own, and I had kind of chance to step back and say, okay, all right. First of all, the logistics of planning all of that, a lot of people got involved, and I created some stress for a lot of people. But it was a lot of fun. But I felt like this team needed to be celebrated, and our fans needed to be celebrated. So it was a great moment together. 13-0. That's just so hard to do. It is so hard to do, I told the players, and I tell y'all the same thing as media. You may not ever follow another 13-0 team, and have some fun with it as media people too, because this is what you do. This is your passion. This is your livelihood, and I would think it's a lot more fun to cover a 13-0 team than a 1-12 team and try to figure out what you're going to talk about. So I just think it's a special moment for everybody, and try to enjoy the journey. But it's really hard to do what this team has done, and just the consistency, not just this team, but the consistency that we've had for, really quite a while, on and off the field. I'm just really proud of that. But right now, we've gone poll to poll as number one, and I think that's a lot of fun. But now we get into a new season. It's a whole new deal. The Final Four is what it is. You're talking these are four phenomenal teams. Just toss them up. We're number one because we're undefeated. That doesn't mean we're better than them other ones. This is just you're splitting hairs when you're talking about these teams. But it should be exciting. It should be a lot of fun, and I don't have any doubt that it'll be two great games, and two great teams will emerge. We'll have to have great preparation like we always try to do for all of our bowl games. We don't prepare any different for this one than we did for any of our other bowls, because we want to win every game. They're all big. So this one, from that standpoint, really there's no change in that. But your margin for error is very small when you're playing a great team like Oklahoma. And people are going to bring up last year's game, and that just absolutely has nothing to do with this year. You go back and look at that game, as I've said, I've been on both sides of that. I've been on both sides of that, where you have a night where the ball, you just can't hold on to it. It's a scoop score, it's a pick six, a tip touchdown, fumble in the red zone, whatever. And and you're playing a really good team. Next thing you know, the whole game plan's out the window, and it's just uphill, and it's really difficult. And that's what happened in that game. We're certainly not that much better than Oklahoma last year. We were on that day simply because of, a lot of mistakes that they made in the turnovers area. Our guys played well and played clean, one of the cleanest games of the season. But it really has nothing to do with this year. Oklahoma is a new team. We're a new team. And a lot of the players in that game for us aren't here anymore. So we'll know we'll have to play our best 4 quarters of the season, and that's how we'll prepare.
So, Coach, how did you emotionally feel when they announced your team to be number one today? Clearly, we saw your facial expression.
Yeah.
Emotionally, how did that feel?
Well, it's just great to see it on the screen. As I've told the local media here, I've started voting us number one 3 weeks before the poll came out. And I told our team that. So to them, they've been number one for a long time. But, again, this poll right here is the only one that really mattered. All the rest of them, hey, it's great, but, it just doesn't matter. The only one that was really going to truly matter, and the only one that I really was interested in, and it didn't matter if we were 1, 2, or 3, or 4. I just wanted to be at the party and have a chance to compete for the national championship. And but to see it live like that, and to be able to celebrate it with 30,000 of your best friends, pretty cool, pretty special moment.
What's this exposure mean for your program now when your coaches go out and recruit this week after something like this?
Well, it doesn't hurt. When you're 13-0 and you're number one team in the country, everybody. I mean, you look on the TVs and you see Clemson, you see that brand, you see that Paul. It's powerful, and I think it doesn't necessarily mean guys are going to come here, but people they're interested and they want to come see maybe what your program's about. There's a lot of great programs out there, but we always feel like if we can get a guy to visit Clemson, then we have a chance, because this place is really special, and there's a lot of people out there who haven't been here, and when they come, they see that, especially when they get around our players and just the people. That's the best asset that we have, are our staff and support staff and the players that we have on this team. But you got to get them here. So, I think just the brand recognition and, maybe piquing the interest of people that maybe wouldn't have said, I need to go check Clemson out. But we've established ourselves, not just this year, we've established ourselves as one of the most consistent programs in the country for several years now. And, that's our goal. That's our main goal, because if we can just kind of stay in that area, then, you're going to have some special seasons along the way. And this has been one of them.
Now, with the 2-year sample size and the selection process, what's your opinion on it now, or maybe what was your opinion of maybe some of your skepticism going in?
Well, I think that, I personally thought I liked the BCS. I didn't have a problem with the BCS. I thought for the most part they got it right. But I love this setup. It's hard to win 15 games at this level. It's a very difficult challenge, that's for sure. But as I said last night, 13-0 used to win it, but it just gets you a ticket now. But I think that it's a good setup, what we have. I think they got it right. I think they got the 4 best teams that have earned, that. And I love the fact that we still have the bowl season and the tradition of the bowl season, and because it's just exciting to be a part of it and to see all these different teams get opportunities to go play another game in a neutral site and get to just have that bowl experience. And the fact that they set this up, the playoff, to where the 4 teams still can have a bowl experience. And then you win the game, well, then there's that one more game, and you come back, and now logistically there will be some challenges for us. We start school on Wednesday, so that's a little different if you're fortunate enough to be in that. But I think they've got it right. I really do, because I think it's giving college football a playoff format every single week. People talk about the championship game. We've been in a playoff for the last 6 weeks. However you break it down, final 64, 32, however, 16, 8, every week has been a playoff. And I think it's just made college football even better, but again, within the tradition of college football. So I think it's fun and right way, the way it should be. And I think they got it right.
What about going to Miami, a place where the fans are familiar with, you guys are familiar with it, you played there this year, you had a lot of success this year. Is there a value of familiarity to where you're going?
I think that's a good thing. We love the Orange Bowl. We know all the people down there. Certainly, our guys are familiar. I think this is our 3rd Orange Bowl in 4 years, I believe, and 5 years. 3rd Orange Bowl in 5 years. So a lot of these guys have had the experience of it, and obviously went down there this year and played in that stadium. So it's a great venue, man. A great place to obviously to take a bowl trip. You're pretty much guaranteed some nice weather, and Lord knows we need some nice weather here at Clemson. So it'll be watch it probably rain 3 inches when we get down there. But It's just they do a phenomenal job, and that's the number one bowl destination for the ACC, and we have a great partnership with them, and so just look forward to being a part of it again and getting down there. And our guys, I think, that have been around here, they'll understand kind of the practice format and how we travel. And I'll tell you, the best part about going to the Orange Bowl is you don't wait on anything. The police escorts down there, it's like a presidential motorcade. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever been a part of, and that was actually a frustration last year. We were late to about everything because they wouldn't allow the escorts for whatever reason from a city standpoint. But boy, down there in Miami, man, they do an unbelievable job, and we know the bus drivers, and can't wait to see all those guys. And I don't know where we're going to practice yet, but they always do a good job of setting you up with good practice facilities and the hotels, and it's a great trip for our players. But at the end of the day, it's about preparing to win and trying to play a great game. So we'll have fun, we'll enjoy it. I'll make sure our guys have a good balance. These are young people that have earned this, but we'll be dialed in and ready to play.
Coach, Deshaun set the ACC championship game record for total yards last night. You broke Jameis Winston's record that you set when you won the Heisman. I know you believe that Deshaun is deserving of the Heisman, but if you could make a case for the voters for Deshaun winning, what would you tell them?
Well, I just think that he's so he's not a guy that just does one thing. I think the majority of the Heisman winners are what position? Quarterbacks. And I think there's a reason for that. It's the most critical position on the field, and everything goes through the quarterback. He's impacting the running game, he's impacting the protections, he's impacting the passing game, and he has been phenomenal. I mean, this guy's 70-something% completion in the fourth quarter. He's been at his best in crunch time, and I think that's what the great players do, is they rise to the occasion when called upon, and then they make everybody else around them better. And nobody's done that better than Deshaun. If you really sit down and watch all 13 games, and this isn't to take anything away from the other players out there, because there's some incredibly deserving other players that other people can make a case for, but what Deshaun has done, and he's on the only undefeated team in the country. And a big reason why we're an only undefeated team is because we got Deshaun Watson. And I think that right there in itself says all you need to know. So I can't imagine that he won't be in New York, but he's the epitome of what the Heisman Trophy is all about, not just on the field, but off the field as well. And I think he's incredibly deserving, and I hope he wins it.
You've had a lot of success the last few years in bowl games. Is there anything preparation-wise that's kind of been key to that?
Well, I've just got a formula that I believe in as far as how we balance things, fundamentally, techniques, going back to kind of some of the basics camp-wise. You have to kind of create that competitive edge, Clemson on Clemson, have a mixture of that. You got to obviously spend your time getting ready for the opponent, but you don't want to over-prepare. And then you want to really take the time to develop your football team with the extra practices. We got a lot of y'all know we got like 40 freshmen, 39, 40 freshmen on this roster. This is critical for a lot of those guys, where we can really kind of get some of those guys that have played a lot of games this year and kind of put them off to the side and really take some extra time, because we don't have a 20-hour rule. They'll be out of school. We got as much time as we need, and we'll take some of that time and develop our team for spring practice. That is a huge part of what we do. And then I think the other thing is you got to get everything done here. Because when you get to the bowl site, there's just it's just not a lot of time for game planning and things like that. Let's get ready to play the game right here, and then let's get down there and let's polish the plan. And get these guys, really dialed in on what we're doing, and let them go execute and play fast and play free. So we've just got a formula that we believe in, and that's what we'll continue to do.
With the recruiting this week you got to do, and then the press conference on Thursday, the Heisman Trophy stuff and all that, can you talk about how your week's going to be hectic and how you're going to pull it off?
Well, one of the things that I really believe in is great preparation. and because when you prepare with details, then you just execute the plan. And there's not one thing that's happening right now that hadn't been on my calendar since I did the calendar in July. I do the calendar every year for the year, July through the next August. Every day is planned. Every practice is planned. Every recruiting meeting, everything in our program. Every day that the coaches are off, every weekend, it's a thorough calendar. And the reason I do that is so that we have great structure. So, we just execute the plan. I knew that I'd be on the road today. I'm getting ready to get on a plane and go to New York. I've got a meeting tomorrow, and I've got the college football competition committee meeting Tuesday morning. And then we've got the Hall of Fame Tuesday night, and then I'll be heading to Houston. I've got to go to Texas and do some recruiting, and then I'll head on to Houston that evening for the Lombardi with Shaq, and then I'll fly back late Wednesday night. Sometime, I don't know what time I'll get here, and then I'll be back on the road all day Thursday recruiting, and I know I'll end up in Atlanta sometime because I know I've got a press thing, and then we'll have the ESPN Awards show, which that helped me this year. It's not in Orlando. It helped me that it's a little closer, so I can kind of manage some of the things that I got to get done. And so look forward to being a part of that, and hopefully a couple of our, I know. Well, I think Deshaun is the only one. I don't know about the Mackey yet with Leggett. I don't know. Okay, so just Deshaun will be there at the ESPN Awards show, so I'll be there for that. And then I'll come back Thursday night, and then I'll be back out on the road Friday morning early all day. And then I'll be back here Friday night for dinner with one of our top prospects that is coming in here. And then I plan to be on a plane Saturday morning flying back to New York to be at the Heisman, and then I'll be back Sunday getting ready to get back on the practice field and be off the road. And we'll have that entire, 10 days or whatever it is to prepare for the opponent and to kind of get some structure back with our guys. So it's good. We've got a great support staff. All of our player development guys and GAs, they'll do a great job of breaking everything down this week and going through and getting everything ready for us coaches on Oklahoma, because everybody's going to be scattered out and on the road. But it's going to be a fun week. It's going to be a busy week, but that's just the way it is. Everybody we missed a week of recruiting last week, but you can't have any better recruiting than doing exactly what we were doing, and that was preparing for our championship. So we got some catching up to do. We got some state championship games that our coaches will be rolling at this week and Saturday, and again, it'll be a long, crazy week, but we'll look forward to getting back together next Sunday and kicking off our bowl prep.
What was Brent's reaction to the opponent?
I didn't even see him. I didn't even see him on the field. So that's I'm sure it's exciting.
Some more Oklahoma fans.
Well, we'll see. I tell you, they're playing as good as anybody in the country right now, maybe best of anybody in the country. So we'll know that they'll be fired up to play us, and we will be too.
Who were your players at the game, and what you think about last night?
Are you kidding me? We've had like 3 hours of sleep. Well, I can tell you right now, offensive player of the game was Deshaun. He was amazing. That's pretty easy. But we haven't graded it yet. That's when we get back, and that's one of the things. We had a team meeting at 11 a.m. With our team, and went over, kind of the plan for the week and some things that we needed to cover with our team before I hit the road. But next Sunday I'll go through the honor roll and the game comments and all that type of stuff once we have a chance to really grade it and evaluate it, because we have a lot of things that we got to learn, and we got to study that tape and get better from it. But we didn't have a chance to get it graded. So
Reactively, special teams, what kind of work do you have to do just with different issues?
Well, I thought we did a nice job in special teams last night. I thought they did get one decent return on us, but for the most part, we neutralized their great returner, the Switzer kid. We kind of kept him at bay all night long, and the play with Hugo, that was not a fake punt. That was Teasdall. It was just a guy really making a really bad decision on his own. And so, that was just not a special teams issue. That was just a bad decision. But kickoff coverage, we did a nice job. They were really good returners. I thought we did a really nice job covering the kicks. We executed well. Obviously the onside kick right there at the end, we disappointed that we didn't catch it clean. We had two guys that have with good hands that the ball went right where we want it to, and we just didn't make that play. But we work on that all the time, and that's just that's a tough play. But proud of Renfro for coming up with it. And hey, another big field goal that was huge for us by Greg last night. And Jim Brown went out with a concussion. And we got to throw David Estes in there. Do y'all know who David Estes is? Well, he's our backup snapper, and he's out there snapping in crunch time for us in the second half, the whole second half. Every punt, every extra point, everything, and did a great job. So, I'm proud of our special teams. I think that, we're improving in a lot of areas, but, we just got to continue to, try to be very disciplined and sound and have great preparation.
Talk a lot about funds and the winning. How aware are you of what Jay Guillermo does with his impersonations, and how much does that help keep the guys loose? It seems like you talk to other guys about it, they enjoy it. Now, obviously, you're one of the subjects from time to time.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, that's a great thing. I think, y'all all know I can imitate Coach Stallings very well. I got him down, but I spent 7 years with him, and I think that means they're listening. I think that means they're paying attention. I can still repeat everything, all kind of stories from Coach Stallings. Stories at the time, I'd be like, oh, my God, if I hear this story one more time, 7 years in a row. But there's a purpose in that. And here I am, 25 years later, still telling the same stories. And that was the purpose, is to plant those type of seeds. And so I think it's great when your young men can imitate you or repeat you. That means they're listening, they're paying attention. But Jay Guillermo has been one of the bright spots on our team. He is, I think, part of it is what he went through, and he just has such a great appreciation and perspective for being able to play. He's not, he just keeps it loose, and he is just having the time of his life, and he appreciates it. So he's hilarious, got a great personality, and even during the games. He just cracks me up. So I think that's great.
South Carolina's hiring Will Muschamp. What do you know about him? What do you think?
I think Will's a great coach. I think he's a great coach. I've known Will a long time, going back to when he was a GA at Auburn, and I was coaching at Alabama. So I think he'll do an excellent job. I think he'll put a great staff together, and I think that's a great hire for South Carolina. I think he's obviously things didn't go the way he wanted them to at Florida, and a lot of different reasons for that. But he's a guy that I know is going to be thankful to have another opportunity, and I guarantee you he'll do a great job for South Carolina, no doubt.
Have you had any opportunities to watch Oklahoma play this year?
Oh yeah, several times. Yeah.
What are your impressions of them?
Explosive, good on D, really playing well on D, and their quarterback looks like Johnny Manziel running around out there. He's a nightmare. I mean, he is an absolute nightmare. So we'll have our hands full with that guy.
Decisions on Mike Williams, on whether he'll be up.
He's coming back. He's. Oh no, I don't think he'll play. I mean, I don't think he'll play. I think that I know he'd like to play, but we hadn't really even talked about that. But as far as coming back next year, he'll be back with us, and I think that's a great decision by him, and he's looking forward to it.
As a former walk-on, do you have a level of appreciation for Baker Mayfield and going from walk-on to potential Heisman?
Yeah, and I think he walked on at two different places. Isn't that correct? Yeah, I think it's an amazing story. It really is, and he has done a phenomenal job leading that football team. And when I've seen him play, I love to see guys play with great passion and love for the game, and all your walk-ons usually have that. And so I love to see a guy, rise up and be the best he can be. And you know, we've had some good ones come through here too. I tell you, this Renfro kid is he's a special young guy, and just he ain't even close to what he's going to be. He's going to be a great player here as he gets bigger and stronger. But you know, he's Mayfield is a guy that again I think plays the right way, and I think his team feeds off of that.
Anything else? This is it till next, by Monday, next availability. Unless you're going to Atlanta.